Hi everyone. Today we're going to dive into the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump right in. Imagine a life where you're no longer overwhelmed by endless obligations, societal pressures, and the constant tug of more. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, embracing a philosophy that prioritizes quality over quantity and clarity over chaos. Essentialism is more than a book. It's a manifesto for those seeking to reclaim control over their time and energy in a world addicted to busyness. McKeown introduces us to the paradox of success, revealing how the very achievements we strive for can trap us in a cycle of overcommitment and distraction. He explores the weight of social pressure and decision fatigue, demonstrating how the endless demands of modern life erode our ability to make clear, intentional choices. Yet, within this chaos lies a solution: the disciplined practice of essentialism, which involves setting firm boundaries, celebrating small wins, and living by design rather than default. With insightful strategies and thought-provoking examples, McKeown empowers readers to eliminate the non-essentials and create space for what truly matters. But this book is not just about saying no, it's about saying yes to the right things. It's about embracing a life of clarity, purpose, and effortless execution, one small win at a time. As you read, you'll find yourself reflecting on the power of boundaries, the value of rest, and the joy of reclaiming your most precious asset, your time. The core philosophy of essentialism: less but better. The essence of essentialism lies in the pursuit of focusing only on what truly matters. McKeown emphasizes that this is not just about doing less for the sake of doing less, but about doing the right things effectively. The goal is to strip away distractions and focus on areas where you can make the most significant impact. Essentialism is not about how to get more things done. It's about how to get the right things done. It doesn't mean just doing less for the sake of less either. It is about making the wisest possible investment of your time and energy in order to operate at our highest point of contribution by doing only what is essential. This mindset contrasts sharply with the typical non-essentialist approach, which values busyness and overachievement. Essentialists understand that by focusing their efforts on fewer but more meaningful activities, they can achieve greater success and fulfillment. Choice is key: the power of intentionality. McKeown asserts that the ability to choose is fundamental to human existence and success. However, many people unconsciously surrender this power, allowing societal norms, external expectations, and distractions to dictate their actions. Essentialism reminds us that while we may not control our circumstances, we can control our responses. The ability to choose cannot be taken away or even given away. It can only be forgotten. This principle is about taking ownership of your life and recognizing that every decision reflects a choice. When we embrace this responsibility, we move from being reactive to proactive, intentionally shaping our lives around what matters most. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. By reclaiming this sense of agency, you begin to filter opportunities and obligations more effectively, ensuring that you allocate time and energy to the things that truly align with your values and goals. The problem with non-essentialism: the trap of doing it all. Non-essentialism is the opposite of essentialism. It is characterized by a frantic, undisciplined pursuit of more tasks, more responsibilities, more obligations. McKeown explains that this mindset often leads to overwork, stress, and ultimately dissatisfaction. Have you ever found yourself stretched too thin? Have you ever felt both overworked and underutilized? Have you ever found yourself busy but not productive? The underlying issue is that many people equate busyness with productivity. This leads to what McKeown describes as the paradox of success, where initial success brings more opportunities, which in turn dilutes focus and diminishes the ability to perform at a high level. Success can distract us from focusing on the essential things that produce success in the first place. The antidote to non-essentialism is to consciously and rigorously evaluate every commitment and opportunity. By cutting out the trivial many, we can focus on the vital few. Focus on trade-offs, accepting limits to maximize impact. A central theme in essentialism is the recognition that we cannot do everything or have everything. McKeown emphasizes the importance of trade-offs, choosing to focus on a few critical areas rather than spreading ourselves too thin. We can't have it all or do it all. If we could, there would be no reason to evaluate or eliminate options. Once we accept the reality of trade-offs, we stop asking, "How can I make it all work?" and start asking the more honest question, "Which problem do I want to solve?" Trade-offs are not failures. They are strategic decisions that enable us to prioritize effectively. Essentialists make these decisions by asking whether a task or commitment is aligned with their highest priorities. This requires not only discernment, but also the courage to let go of opportunities that don't serve their goals. The power of no, courage and compassion. Saying no is one of the most challenging yet essential skills in the pursuit of essentialism. McKeown explains that many people say yes to avoid discomfort, to please others, or out of a fear of missing out. However, this often leads to frustration, overcommitment, and a sense of being out of control. Remember that a clear no can be more graceful than a vague or non-committal yes. McKeown encourages readers to practice the graceful no, which involves declining requests or opportunities in a way that is respectful but firm. He emphasizes that every time we say yes to something trivial, we are saying no to something vital. Saying no is its own leadership capability. It is not just a skill to be mastered, it is a philosophy to be embraced. Learning to say no effectively requires clarity about your priorities and the courage to stand by them. It is through this discipline that essentialists create space for what truly matters. Explore before committing. The importance of discernment. Essentialists don't rush into commitments. Instead, they take time to thoroughly evaluate options to ensure they focus on what aligns with their goals and values. McKeown explains that the process of exploration helps distinguish the vital few from the trivial many. Essentialists spend as much time as possible exploring, listening, debating, questioning, and thinking. But their exploration is not an end in itself. The purpose of the exploration is to discern the vital few from the trivial many. This exploration involves asking tough questions like, what do I feel deeply inspired by? What am I particularly talented at? What meets a significant need in the world? By applying strict criteria to decisions, essentialists ensure they don't scatter their energy across meaningless pursuits. This deliberate process allows them to go big on the right activities, maximizing their impact. Elimination of non-essentials, freeing up space. A key step in the essentialist framework is actively removing non-essential activities, obligations, and commitments. McKeown compares this to decluttering a closet. Just as we must part with clothing we no longer wear, we must also remove tasks that no longer serve our priorities. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. Elimination requires emotional discipline because it often involves saying no to good opportunities to focus on the great ones. McKeown advises readers to confront the sunk cost bias, the tendency to stick with activities simply because of the effort or resources already invested. Courageously eliminating the non-essentials isn't just about mental discipline. It's about the emotional discipline necessary to say no to social pressure. This process may feel uncomfortable, but it creates the space needed to focus on high-priority tasks that align with your goals and values. Making execution effortless. Removing obstacles. Essentialists don't see execution as a struggle. They aim to make completing essential tasks as smooth and frictionless as possible. This requires designing systems that simplify workflows and eliminate unnecessary obstacles. The essentialist designs a routine that makes achieving what you have identified as essential the default position. McKeown encourages investing the time saved from eliminating non-essentials into refining processes. This might involve automating repetitive tasks, creating structured routines, or streamlining decision-making. The goal is to focus your energy entirely on what matters most. Instead of forcing execution, essentialists invest the time they have saved into creating a system for removing obstacles and making execution as easy as possible. By designing systems that support effortless execution, you avoid burnout and create consistent progress toward meaningful goals. Protecting the asset. Prioritizing rest and play. McKeown emphasizes that the individual is the most critical asset in achieving essentialism. Protecting your mental, physical, and emotional well-being is vital for sustained productivity and creativity. Sleep, rest, and play are not indulgences. They are necessities. If we underinvest in ourselves, we damage the very tool we need to make our highest contribution. Essentialists recognize that overwork leads to diminishing returns. Sleep, in particular, is described as a high-leverage activity that can significantly improve performance and decision-making. Protecting the asset means recognizing that if we don't take care of our bodies, our ability to make a contribution will be compromised. Play is another crucial element. McKeown encourages readers to embrace moments of joy and creativity, as these recharge the mind and inspire innovative thinking. Clarity of purpose. Knowing what truly matters. Clarity of purpose is the foundation of essentialism. Without a clear understanding of what is most important, it is impossible to prioritize effectively. McKeown argues that having a single, well-defined goal allows individuals to focus their efforts and avoid distractions. Clarity about what is essential fuels us with the energy to say no to the non-essentials. This clarity acts as a guiding compass, helping individuals navigate trade-offs and make decisions aligned with their highest priorities. McKeown explains that by defining what success means to you, you gain the power to filter out irrelevant activities and focus on meaningful contributions. A clear purpose gives you the courage to eliminate distractions and focus on what matters most. In practice, this involves asking yourself, what is the most important thing I can do right now? And letting that question guide your actions. The paradox of success. How success can undermine itself. McKeown introduces the paradox of success to explain how initial achievements can lead to a trap where success generates more demands, which in turn dilute focus and undermine the very clarity that led to success in the first place. The pursuit of success can be a catalyst for failure. Put another way, success can distract us from focusing on the essential things that produce success in the first place. This paradox unfolds in 4 phases. Phase 1. Clarity of purpose leads to focused effort and success. Phase 2. Success brings recognition and more opportunities. Phase 3. Increased opportunities lead to diffused efforts and overcommitment. Phase 4. Lack of focus results in diminished success and frustration. McKeown argues that to overcome this paradox, you must continually reassess priorities and resist the temptation to chase every new opportunity. Instead, refocus on what is essential. Social pressure and decision fatigue, the overload of modern life. McKeown describes how societal pressures and an abundance of choices overwhelm individuals, leading to decision fatigue, a state where the quality of decisions deteriorates as people are forced to make too many of them. The more choices we are forced to make, the more the quality of our decisions deteriorates. Social pressure exacerbates this problem by constantly demanding attention and compliance. Technology amplifies this pressure by enabling non-stop communication and opinions from others. Today, technology has lowered the barrier for others to share their opinions about what we should be focusing on. It is not just information overload, it is opinion overload. To combat decision fatigue, McKeown advises developing a disciplined approach to filtering out non-essential tasks and focusing on what aligns with your core priorities. This involves consciously pausing and asking, "Is this the most important thing I should be doing right now?" The value of boundaries, freedom through limits. Boundaries, McKeown argues, are essential to maintaining focus and protecting time and energy. Setting boundaries is not about saying no to everything, but rather about creating space for what truly matters. If you don't set boundaries, other people will set them for you. McKeown emphasizes that boundaries empower individuals to reclaim control over their lives. This can include limiting work hours, setting specific times for focused tasks, or declining requests that don't align with your goals. The act of saying no is not selfish. It is necessary to say yes to the right things. Boundaries are a source of liberation. They give us the freedom to devote our time and energy to what really matters. Setting clear and firm boundaries allows you to protect your most valuable asset, your time, and ensures you can operate at your highest level of contribution. Small wins matter. Building momentum with incremental progress. McKeown highlights the importance of small wins in achieving larger goals. Rather than aiming for perfection or dramatic results immediately, focusing on consistent incremental progress can create momentum and confidence. When we celebrate small wins, we gain the confidence and motivation to keep going, even when the goal seems distant. Small wins help build a sense of accomplishment and reinforce the idea that meaningful progress is being made. McKeown recommends breaking big projects into smaller, manageable tasks and celebrating each milestone. Focus on small, concrete wins that build upon each other and create a sense of accomplishment. They are a powerful way to maintain momentum. This approach encourages long-term commitment and makes even the most ambitious goals feel achievable. Living by design, not by default. Intentional living. One of the central themes of essentialism is the idea of living intentionally. McKeown argues that most people operate in default mode, reacting to external demands and circumstances rather than actively designing their lives. The way of the essentialist means living by design, not by default. Living by design involves taking control of your choices and ensuring that your actions align with your highest priorities. This requires clarity of purpose, deliberate decision-making, and a commitment to saying no to anything that doesn't contribute to your essential goals. Instead of making choices reactively, the essentialist deliberately distinguishes the vital few from the trivial many, eliminates the non-essentials, and removes obstacles so the essential things have clear, smooth passage. McKeown encourages readers to pause regularly, reflect on their goals, and ask themselves whether they are investing their time and energy in the things that truly matter. By doing so, they can create a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. At its core, essentialism is not a call to do less for the sake of laziness, but an invitation to do less of what doesn't matter so you can do more of what does. Greg McKeown challenges us to reevaluate our choices, overcome societal expectations, and approach life with intention and purpose. The book's principles, anchored in focusing on the vital few, eliminating the trivial many, and protecting ourselves from burnout, offer a roadmap to a more meaningful, productive existence. If you've ever felt busy but unfulfilled, stretched too thin, or unsure whether your efforts are yielding real results, essentialism is the wake-up call you need. It reminds us that success is not about having it all. It's about having the discipline to choose what truly matters. This is a guide not just for living better, but for living fully, with clarity, focus, and joy.